All right, today we're going to talk about something really powerful, how to control the entire life of a piece of data. We're talking from the moment it's born all the way to its final deletion. And we'll see how it all boils down to three fundamental SQL commands that you absolutely need to master. It's easy to think of data as just, well, a boring spreadsheet, but it's not. It's a living, breathing thing. Customers sign up, they move, they change their minds, and sometimes they leave for good. Each one of those moments means we have to step in and manage that data to guide it through its natural life. And here's the cool part. To manage this entire life cycle, from creation to all the changes in between to its final removal, you really only need to get comfortable with three core SQL commands: insert, update, and delete. Seriously, you master these and you have total control. So to make this super clear and not just theoretical, we're going to follow a single story from start to finish. We'll track one customer in a sample database called Sequila. It's for a fictional movie rental store. This way, you'll see exactly how each command works in a situation you can actually picture.
Okay, so let's start at the very beginning, the birth of a record. How does new information even get into a database in the first place? Well, that's the job of the insert statement.
It's exactly what it sounds like. Insert is the command that lets us add brand new rows of data into a table. Every time you sign up for a new service or a store adds a new product to its online catalog, you can bet an insert statement is running somewhere behind the scenes. Let's quickly break down how it's built. You start with insert into, and then you name the table you're putting data into. Then, in parentheses, you list out the specific columns you want to fill. After that comes the keyword values, followed by the actual data for that new row, making sure it all lines up with the columns you just listed. Okay, let's see it in action. A new customer, let's call her Jane Doe, joins our movie store. We write insert into the customer table. We list the columns like first name and email, and then we provide the values for Jane. We run that command, and boom, just like that, her record is born. She officially exists in our database. But Jane's story doesn't just stop there, right? Life happens. People move, they get new email addresses. To keep our data accurate and up to date, we need a way to change it. And for that, we have the update statement. The update statement is our go-to tool for changing data that's already there. It's how we fix typos, reflect real-world changes, and just generally keep our database from becoming stale and useless. So, to use it, you tell the database which table to update, then you set a column to a new value. And I can't stress this enough, the most important piece of this command is the where clause. This part is absolutely 100% critical. So let's say Jane moves to a new place. We have to update her address. Simple, right? But wait, our customer table might have thousands of people in it. How do we make sure we change the address for Jane Doe and not accidentally change the address for every single customer in the database? The answer is that all-important where clause. It acts like a laser-guided targeting system. We tell the database to update the customer table and set the address ID to a new value, but only where the customer ID is 600. That unique ID ensures we are only touching Jane's record and no one else's. And if you think I'm being dramatic about how important this is, check out this warning from our source material. It's talking about delete, but the danger is exactly the same for update. If you forget that where clause, you don't just change Jane's address. You change every single customer's address to the new one. It is a catastrophic and sadly, very common mistake. And this brings us to the final stage in the data lifecycle. Sometimes data just isn't needed anymore. A customer closes their account, a product is discontinued. For that final step, we use the delete command. The delete statement does exactly what you think it does. It removes rows from a table. And when I say remove, I mean poof, it is gone, for good. This is the end of the line for that record, so you have to be incredibly careful when you use it. The syntax is pretty simple. You delete from a specific table. But just like with update, the real power and the real danger is all in that where clause. It is the only thing standing between you deleting one specific record and deleting your entire table. So let's finish Jane's story. After a few years, she decides to close her account. We run a delete from the customer table, but we do it where her customer ID is 600. Her record is cleanly, precisely, and safely removed. And I'll say it one last time. Without that where clause, we would have just wiped out our entire customer base. Okay, let's pull this all together. These three commands, insert, update, and delete, they aren't just three separate things to memorize. They are a complete toolkit for managing the entire life of your data.
Here's the whole thing in a nutshell. You use insert to create new data, and its key part is the values clause. You use update and delete to change or remove existing data. And for both of them, the where clause is your non-negotiable safety net.
And that's really the big takeaway here. With just these three commands, you're in the driver's seat. You can bring data into existence, you can change it as the world changes, and you can give it a clean exit when it's no longer needed. You have fundamental control. But that control comes with a ton of responsibility. I mean, it's one thing to know how to change data. It's a whole other challenge to make sure those changes are correct, safe, and aren't accidentally messing things up. Which brings us to a really interesting question. How do we protect our data from ourselves? But that sounds like a topic for another time.